Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your early morning Newcastle United news. It is, of course, our first ever breakfast tyne, we'll continue to do this for as long as it is popular. If you enjoy the show, make sure you hit the like button just to show us that you do want more of the early morning news show, etc. We will continue to do it. Please do hit the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel and you like what you see. And of course, please do hit the join button to become a member of the channel. We do give lots of member giveaways on a regular basis. Yes, I know we are very popular this morning with the Manchester United fans, dear me. The amount of comeback from Alex's comments last night on the show was quite bizarre, actually. It was I've never seen anything like that. Alex simply stating that players' careers go to die at Old Trafford, yet some people have taken it as in he meant the actual person, which was absolutely incredibly naive and stupid of people to think that. Yes, it's going to create a lot of banter, etc., on X and things like that, and you know, some people decide to go past the realms of banter, of course. And say some really awful things, but that's what the internet is all about these days, isn't it? It's full of crap, basically. But anyway, I mean, we're not trying to create a rivalry or anything like that. We're just stating the obvious. Manchester United, over the last few years, the players that have gone there, a lot of them have failed. Let's be fair. You know, that's just fact. Manchester United, we know, look, I'm going to sit here now as host of this show. Manchester United are a massive, massive football club, steeped in rich history, without a shadow of a doubt, okay? But lately, they have been a bit of a shambles. And even the Manchester United fans, you know, with all your protests and stuff like that against the Glazers and what's the Jim Ratcliffe is doing to the club, you guys have come out in recent seasons and hammered them for that. So, you know, it has been a mess at Old Trafford the last few seasons. Absolutely, it has. But I'm not sitting here saying that I don't think Manchester United are massive, because they are. Of course they are. You would be very silly if you thought otherwise, but it's mental. But anyway, the Sesko situation looks like it's finally going to come to an end, folks, as it looks like the player has actually decided on Manchester United. Shock horror. I guess we all knew that was going to happen at some point. Of course, Fabrizio Romano, Ben Jacobs, etc. this morning, you know, running around doing loops of the house cheering for the fact that they are going to get him. I think everybody's been pushing in the media for Sesko to join Manchester United. That's been pretty obvious. And I think that's just how it is. You know, we know that a lot of the media have been pushing for Sesko to Manchester United. Newcastle United, what can we say? It's been a shit show of a transfer window. And this is just a continuation of that shit show, in my opinion. It's a little disappointing. Of course, it's massively disappointing. But what are we supposed to do? You know, we're Newcastle United. We've got to get on with things, and we've got to try and sign some players from somewhere. Some of the players linked at the moment, I'm not very excited about, I have to say. Nicholas Jackson, for me, Jesus Christ, is all I've got to say to that. I think is a really, really, really bad move. I would go, if we were to go for Chelsea to one of their forwards, I'd go for Nkunku. I know he's had a very, very bad run of injuries, but I'd take him over Nicholas Jackson every single day of the week. 100%. Ollie Watkins continues to get mentioned. The problem is Ollie Watkins is at an age now where, you know, we're not going to get any sell-on benefit from him or anything like that. But on the flip side of that, Ollie Watkins is a proven Premier League striker. He's open to a move away from Aston Villa. I'm certain that Ollie Watkins will want to play in the Champions League again, as he did for Villa last season. So that is an option without a shadow of a doubt. But Ramos, for me, is the one at PSG that we need to go and have a look at, or we need to make inquiries about. Visser, of course, has made it quite clear that he wants to come to Newcastle United. It's all about just offering the extra money, and I don't know what the problem is with that at the moment with Newcastle United. They're offering huge money for Benjamin Sesko. Surely we can up the bid to Brentford for around £5 million and get that deal done. Finally, finally we have a player that actually wants to sign for Newcastle United this summer. And if you look back over the approaches that we've made all summer, it's been, well, Newcastle United have had an interest. The player may be open to a move. He may be open to the project and all of this. But, I mean, it's just damp squibs, if you ask me. And then finally, Visser turns around and is wanting Newcastle United. But somehow we don't want to up the bid for a few million quid. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I think Visser's wages would be fine, and so would Ramos's. I mean, he's on 90 grand a week at the minute at PSG, so we can up that. But it's all about this stupid wage structure that's in place that I think we all know as Newcastle United fans, it has to go. It has to go. You know, we need to improve this wage structure. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, let's improve it to 300 grand a week, etc., and, you know, pushing the realms of what we can actually afford. But surely we can do something with regards to that wage structure that's in place. Let's take a look at what you guys are saying this morning. Jean says, I hear Visser is already done. Brentford only let him go after getting a replacement. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see because, you know, it's not highly in the news at the minute that Brentford are after anybody to try and replace Visser. Let's just wait and see. James says we are just going to get the dregs that's available. The whole club is a disgrace how it's been run, and we as fans are getting fed bullshit. Well, we did say on the show last night that it would probably be better that, you know, if Newcastle United as a club were to make a statement as to what's been going on in the background this whole summer, then I'd rather that was done at the end of the transfer window. You know, now is probably not the time with a few weeks left to explain anything about the failings of this transfer window. That's probably going to come into fruition at the end of it. So I do expect Newcastle United to say something, or I want them to say something. I think we all, as fans, deserve to know what the hell has gone on behind the scenes, why we have failed to get signings in. I mean, look, we might be sitting here in a few weeks' time at the end of the transfer window celebrating the fact that we made a few signings. We'll still have to see how that pans out. But at the minute, as we speak now, I would expect Newcastle United would have to come out to the fans and say, hey, you know, we realise this has been an absolute disaster. This is the reason why. And then if we agree with it, we agree with it. If we don't, we don't. But they have to say something. Has Sesko came out and said he wants Man United? What's the delay? Newton either put a bid in. Leipzig haven't accepted the bid either. Sean, all indications are that overnight Sesko has said that he wants to move to Manchester United. And to be honest, we said this last night. If Manchester United have put a bid in for him, and it's less than what Newcastle United have offered, I'm pretty much of the understanding that means that they've had a tip off from somebody who has said, yeah, okay, you know, Sesko wants to join you, put a bid in. Go ahead and put the bid in now. I think it's coming to a close. It has to be coming to a close. It can't drag on anymore. We've dragged our heels for 2 weeks on this transfer again. I mean, if you look back on the time wasted, actually time wasted that we've had on players going in for, you know, trying to get players in, it's ridiculous the amount of time that we've wasted. It's weeks and weeks and weeks. And the fact is that we're still stuck in this motion of doing one deal at a time. We can't seem to, you know, look at one deal and look at another at the same time. It's a massive, massive problem. Peter says, try Strand Larsen at Wolves. Okay, Wolves have just signed him, but they are selling club who only paid 23 million, offer 50, and we would be getting young Premier League proven. Look, Strand Larsen is a decent player. He's a decent player. I'll give him that. But he's not that elite striker that we're looking for, especially if Isak goes. We'll come on to Isak in a second. But if Isak does go, Strand Larsen is not the replacement. He may well have to be, given what's, you know, we're certainly going down and down the list, aren't we, at the minute, looking for strikers. But Lewis says, I think we should look at a few players who can contribute 10 goals a season each. We need squad depth and can't compete at the high level yet. Luke, we should just tell Isak he can leave next summer and just buy in other areas, then sell him early in the next window so we have enough time to get players in. Club over player every time. Well, the thing is, the worry I've got about Isak staying for another season is he knows or if that comes to fruition with regards to saying, right, stay another year, move on, and you can have your move next summer. The problem I've got with that is that Isak will know that he's moving in the summer, but he won't want to get injured, right? So, and I don't think anybody's talked about this yet. Will Isak be going full guns blazing second half of the season, if you like, knowing that he's moving in the summer? He's going to get his big move, but if he gets an injury, that move is in jeopardy. And that's what we've got to think about, because, the way Isak's behaved over the summer, what's to say that he doesn't do that he just downs tools in the second half of the season, just goes on the pitch and says, well, I'm there, but I'm not really there because I don't want to get injured ahead of my massive move in the summer. There's so many ifs and buts about it for me. James says agenda, Appenda, Boniface, Ramos, the bloke from Porto. Go for these instead. Good effort, Paul. Smashing out the morning show. Can't see PSR lasting much longer. Martin, hi, Paul. You're doing the transfer deadline show. We are, definitely. That will be, again, our charity stream from around 10 a.m. all the way through till the window closes. We're looking to raise more than $5,000 this time around in a shorter space of time, remember, because the window closes at 7 now instead of 11. So we're not on as long as we'd normally be. I think we'll be on for an hour after the window closes anyway, just to sort of dissect what's happened. But yes, we will be doing a deadline day stream, all for charity, which means everything you donate to that show will be going to the 4 charities that we raise money for. We raised 5,000 last time. We're looking to try and do even better this time, just as much as we can for the charities. Peter says, well, there you go. Strand Larson again. He's really banging that drum this morning, isn't he? Big G says, where are PIF? Where are the Rubens? When the takeover happened, they were everywhere. Now, where are they? The silence is deafening. They are more interested in strengthening our rivals. You know what? I can't disagree with that, because I've seen more stuff this morning regarding Nunez to Al Hilal. And that, for me, just funds more money in Liverpool's pocket to go for Isak. Chris, good morning. At Evermore, check them out, guys. Big friends of the channel, and they're doing really well, guys. So please go and subscribe to Evermore as well. Very much a temper like mine, I think, as Chris got. I'm absolutely fed up with it all, mate. The club have been a joke this summer, wasting time on targets who don't want to come, shopping in wrong markets. We've gone from Champions League to chumps. As usual, Chris being very honest there. Super chat in from All Sports Lounge. Andy Howe should be sacked. No one respects him. Look, I think that's, to be honest, I think that is what needs addressing at the end of this window. Because at the same time, we've got Andy Howe there. We all know that he's never done this kind of job before. Or certainly from the outside looking in, he's never done it before, wherever he's been. So I kind of, you've got to worry about that. Nixon himself, I think, is fine. His record over the years has been fantastic in Newcastle United. So I've got no problem with Nixon. But we just don't have the director of football overseeing things and making sure everything's going okay, or putting stepping in if he has to. There's no CEO there at the minute. It's all a bit of a mess, if we're quite honest. And the fact that it's taken so long to appoint the CEO, to appoint the DOF, that for me is a worrying factor. And it always will be. Excuse me. Chris says, I feel sorry for Howe and Nixon. They've been putting roles beyond their capabilities. Certainly Howe has, Andy Howe, without a shadow of a doubt. But I don't know. Have they not brought this all on themselves and things like that? I know people are looking at Eddie Howe and saying, Eddie's a bit to blame and this and that. I think everybody has a little bit of a part to blame in all of this mess. But where are the owners? This huge PIF that owns Newcastle United. Where the hell are they? Like somebody said earlier on, the silence is absolutely deafening. Ross with a super chat, thank you, mate. We are fishing in the wrong pond. I think we need to be looking at the rough gems. What happened in the windows with Tonali, Botman, and Bruno? You know what? I can't disagree with that. I think a lot of Newcastle United fans have already said that. Why aren't we shopping abroad? Why aren't we trying to find the next Tonali, Botman, Bruno, etc.? Yes, we've gone for Sesko, fine. But a lot of the targets that we've gone for have been Premier League players this season. And of course, just take a carpet swept from under our feet whenever we go for players. It's just getting to be, as the window goes on and on and on, more and more and more and more of a joke. And are we a laughing stock around the Football League at the moment? I think we are. Absolutely 100%. Because, you're seeing things on X and things like that about the amount of players that we've been linked with or tried to go for, and a big red cross next to the name as if to say, failed, 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 failed. It is a failure. Of course it is. You have to look at it that way and think, why are we not convincing these players to sign for our football club? What is going on? And, PIF have to come out and say something at the end of the day eventually. All Sports says Andy Howe is the one trying to recruit players that don't know or respect him. He is embarrassing Newcastle. John says, why are people blaming Andy Howe? Mitchell left. Andy is doing somebody else's job. He's not a sporting director. Well, the whole sporting the director of football, sporting director, whatever you want to go down, is a sham at Newcastle United. It has been a complete sham. And look, I'm just speaking off what I think. And I think it has been a sham. Chris has said he's had to come off X-Paul. They're all laughing at us, and the club has made us the butt of the joke. It's a disgrace. Exactly. We are an embarrassment at the minute. But the fact is, the whole director of football was screwed up. Completely screwed up and ballsed up by the football club. I don't know what's gone on with Mitchell. It's water under the bridge now. He's gone. It doesn't matter. The fact is we don't have one, and we haven't recruited one yet. And, to be fair, these big transfers that we're going for, it needs a director of football. It needs a CEO. These are huge deals. We're shopping in Harrods now. We're not shopping in the pound shops where, we just go in and say, how much do you want? And the deals are done. These are elite players that we're looking at here. Elite transfers that need a director of football, that need a CEO, that need guidance to get the deals done. And like a lot of you said, we've got people in these positions who've never done it before, have no experience, and certainly aren't known to the players themselves. Now, we put that poll up last night regarding Eddie Howe and saying, do these elite players want to play for Eddie? And it was, we had 2,000 votes on that. And it was almost a 50-50 split, which it shocked me that actually. But I just think we don't have the people in place at the minute that are capable of doing the big deals. Manchester United, whatever we think of them, Liverpool, etc., they all have people in place who are capable of doing these deals, who have experience and who have the nous to get the deals done. They know when to pounce. Newcastle United at the minute, we're going in, we're putting bids in. But these guys at Liverpool and the big clubs, they're experienced and know what they're doing. They'll hang back a little bit and then they'll put a bid in. And they know how the transfer window works. And we just don't have people in that position who have got the nous to be sneaky and do that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's the way to get things done. And we just don't seem to have any persona of the football club right now where we can go in and try and be aggressive, because we're just failing, completely failing, to be honest. Liam says, don't we have two guys earmarked for the rules? Yes, we do, but they were earmarked when I went on holiday, and that was 2 and a bit weeks ago. And nothing's happened. It's gone all quiet since then. So where are these people? I don't care that there's only 3 weeks left in the window or whatever. Just get the bloody people into the roles and get them going. If these people are experienced, which by all accounts they are, get them in and get them started right now. Save our bloody window. Do something. Let the fans know that something is actually happening, that we're trying to do something and trying to repair the damage of this awful, awful transfer window. Agent Tech with a super chat saying that us falling out windows with PIF is what the Premier League want. Oh, I mean, listen, the Premier League, we know what they want. And it's just a sham. Chris says they don't want us that want to be tainted with this failure, Paul. They'll start when the window shuts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course they will. But we know that. We know that. We can look at it and say, well, come on, why aren't you coming in now? Help us get some deals done. Just won't happen. Foxy, good morning. Said it for a while now. Need to be a lot smarter. Pedro was there at Watford. Ekitike was there, 16 million last year. Sesko at Salzburg. Simmons for 0 twice. Yet we try when the hype is high and in demand. The timing is off. Bang on. Bang on, Foxy. The timing is off completely of going for these kind of players. And it's just a wreck. It is just a wreck. And listen, I do have to say one thing, right? And regarding, the criticism that we give Manchester United, saying, oh, why would they want to go there? Okay, you could flip that over and say, why would the players want to come to Newcastle United right now? They're looking at the recent history of Newcastle and see 2 director of football's leaving. They've got people in positions that really shouldn't be there, who haven't got the negotiation skills quite clearly to get deals done. And these elite players are looking at it thinking, well, why should I go to Newcastle? You could, yes, on the footballing side, we got Champions League, etc. But the stuff behind the scenes is a mess, like it is at Manchester United. So, we could easily turn around and say, why Newcastle? They haven't brought any players in. They're struggling at the minute. They've got a very threadbare squad, and we've got people in positions that just shouldn't freaking be there. I think it's a complete mess. Flyer One says, morning, Paul, mate, and everyone. It's a World Cup next year. If he stays, he will give it what he's got, and then let him go next year. Maybe, yeah, with the World Cup, yes, but I think even if Isak basically played on one leg next season, he would still be picked for the Swedish World Cup squad. There's no doubt in my eyes that they wouldn't leave him out. And I think everybody knows that. They just wouldn't leave him out. Ben says, meant to be in PSR trouble and Rashford out on loan, joke. Well, we can talk about FFP till the cows come home, guys. We literally can. That's not going to change. That's in place now. We just have to get on with it. As much as we hate it, we do have to just get on with it. Revenger with a super chat. All season, we did all the negotiating, and they just cut us off at the last minute and make us look silly. He is hoping they are done signing out or out of budget. I think Sesko deal will happen today, to be honest, to Man United. Listen, I would have loved Sesko at Newcastle. We've looked at him as a channel for weeks and weeks now, and certainly a couple of years. He's been linked with Newcastle in the press many times, and I would love him, absolutely love him. But the fact is, if he wants Manchester United, then there's nothing much we can do about that now, because we don't have the people in place at the club to go and say to Sesko, right, we understand that Manchester United is an option for you. However, this is why. This is what Newcastle United's all about. This is what you can be part of. And I don't think we're pushing that rhetoric, and I don't think we've got the people to push it as well as a proper director of football, as well as a CEO could do. And that's where we're losing out. Trademarks says Samu needs to be a target. He's a real talent that could be just as good, if not better than Isak, in my opinion. He's been mentioned many times. Many times. But I'm yet to see any direct links in the press with him to say Newcastle United are really aggressively going after him. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. James, good morning. What we got to remember, as frustrating as this transfer window is, the name on the front of our shirt will always be bigger than any name on the back. And we have done bloody brilliant the past few years. Brilliant comment, James. And I can't say that I disagree with you. Nobody is bigger than Newcastle United. Nobody is bigger than this badge. Nobody is bigger than the club. But the club is a little bit of an embarrassment right now. Whether we like it or not, the name of Newcastle United in this whole transfer window is an embarrassment, because opposition fans are finding this hilarious, that every time we go for a player, another club steps in and takes our player. We are so slow at doing deals. The Elanga deal took forever to get done. And if you look at deals in the past, the Botman situation and things like that, they all took forever. However, I genuinely believe it's because we don't have the staff. We just don't have the staff. But what I want to say as well is, how does this look on our current crop of players? You know, these players, and we've said this in live shows before, these crop of players were sold a project, and this project has just flunked. It's dead in the water right now. Unless the club come out in the next few weeks and give us some kind of explanation and some sort of ambition that things are going to really take off for us. Because right now, there's the new stadium. There was a load of hype about that way earlier this year. At the beginning of the year, we were told that certainly by April, we'd get an announcement on that. Nothing. Absolutely dead in the water. It's gone very quiet. The training ground has gone to pot. There's nothing been said about that. Now, look, the players may be being told different information, but why aren't we being told? You know, we are the fans of the football club. Without us, the football club is nothing. So why aren't we being told? But if you believe reports, you know, Liam Kennedy said on a video last week that there was a possibility that a couple of other players were a little bit miffed as to what's going on. And I don't blame them. How can we sit here as fans and think, right, you're sold a big project like Newcastle United, think, yeah, I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that. I want to become a legend, which a lot of these players have become, by the way, for winning that trophy last year. Don't get me wrong. But then you look at it and think, there's nothing else happening. It's just silence. And we're struggling to bring big-name players in. How long do these elite players that we already have stick around before they decide, well, look, I love this football club dearly. I really do. But at the same time, I have to think about my career, and I have to think about, you know, at the end of my career, what have I won? So do I want to stay here where we're struggling to bring in players, etc., we can't get them through the door? Or do I want to go and have an opportunity to win things? Everybody knows what they're going to do. They want to win things. They're going to be like, hopefully not behave like Isak, but turn around and say, well, you know, this isn't happening. Unfortunately, this project that we were sold, it's not happening. I'm getting older. My career's getting shorter. I need to be off. I need to go and look elsewhere. And I wouldn't blame the players for doing that. I don't think anybody could. It's just really sad that it's ended up like that. Frank Spencer Boxing Academy. Walter Maid would be ideal replacement, 50, 60 million. Look, there is still players out there, isn't there? There is definitely still players available. But like we said last night, what do you do if you're one of these players who suddenly, towards the end of the transfer window, you get told that Newcastle United are interested? Would you do this? Would you do that? And these players will turn and say, well, why am I suddenly sort of 9th or 10th choice? These players know how many times Newcastle United bid for strikers. And are they going to want to come to us now where it's way down the line? I mean, yes, obviously the pull of Newcastle would still be there for Champions League. There's a lot of players would definitely want to play in the Champions League. But at the same time, some players would just say, well, hang on a minute, you didn't want us at the start of the window. It's took you 10 attempts to sign a striker, yet you haven't been able to bring anybody in, and now you turn to me. It's difficult. Chris says, if we were clever, we'd try for the likes of Hendrick and Gula on loan from Real if they're not getting game time. New CEO is ex-Real Madrid. Yeah, there is a possibility. But again, Chris, what I'd say is they need to get them in the door and start work. Paul, we've only bid for 3 strikers. I know, but you know what I mean. The amount of players that we bid for. You could turn around and say, well, you bid for 3 strikers already. Why am I 4th, 5th, 6th in line? Simon says, Keith Downey made a great point. We are losing out to the biggest name clubs and payers in England. At least we are trying. There's no shame in that. Yeah, there's no shame in it, Simon, but it does look rather embarrassing when you're getting turned down all the time and players are deciding to go elsewhere. Fletch says, Liverpool now interested in Chow. At this point, they are just trolling. Look, I think they want Isak. It's Isak or nobody else. You know, they can link more players to the club if they want, but if they go for Isak, there is no way they're going to be able to bring anybody else in, because if they go for Isak, that is then pretty much $500 million that they've spent or something like that in this transfer window. So I don't think anybody else joins Liverpool, certainly this summer. I'm hearing that Romano has confirmed Sesko to Man United. I'm not sure if that's the case. Let me double check that because, well, I mean, that's just the news we're waiting for, isn't it? But look, I think I'm past it now. I think certainly over the last couple of days, when Manchester United started bidding, etc., you kind of turn around and say, well, that's another one out the window. That's another one gone. Let's try and move on. But where do you move on? That is the question. Mark Mullins, good morning, Mark. I personally feel the FA are involved with us losing players. I think as soon as we go for someone, the FA tell the cartel to steal the player from us. Listen, I'd be mighty pissed if I thought that was going on. But then again, you just can't take anything for granted. However, what I will say is a lot of people commenting, certainly over the last few days, of what's going on and why it has to be broadcast in the media, our interest in a certain player. It's not. It's the agent of that said player. It's nothing to do with Newcastle United. Newcastle United suddenly go in and say we're interested in a player. If that agent thinks, oh, I know for a fact there's other clubs interested, I'm going to put this out in the media and let the media know that Newcastle United have come knocking. And then bang, it all goes across the media, and that's what starts all the rigmarole. Avonsa Sky is still saying that the deal is ongoing. Oh God, you know how just do the deal, Man United, get it done for God's sake. Sesko, just go. We can't afford to sit around anymore. That's the problem I've got. We just can't afford to sit around. Time is running out. You know, there's 3 weeks left. And remember a few weeks ago, everybody was saying, don't panic. There's loads of time left in the transfer window. And now look where we are. We're still in the same fucking position. Oh, man. Honestly. Glenn says we are done. I said 4 years ago, PIF will last 5 years and realize it's not easy to do what they want, and then they will leave. That's why no new stadium, etc. This is the final nail. By oh my, that's strong. That is strong. Choppy, good morning. There's not a lot we can do if players keep on signing for other teams. Yeah, but what is it? What is it that's making them sign for other teams, though, Choppy? That's what we have to. That's what we need answers for. We just don't have the staff at the football club right now who are of the nous to get these deals done, who are aggressive in negotiations. You know, spend back to Amanda and how aggressive she was with negotiations. We need somebody like that. And I don't think Andy Howe or Steve Nixon or Eddie Howe, for that matter, are that ruthless. You know, and that's what you need. You need somebody to go in to transfer negotiations and be ruthless. Say to these players, look, we're not going to piss about here. You know, we'll give you a couple of days to decide. There's the money. This is what we'll offer. And if you don't want it, we move on. But if you look at what's been happening, it's been a few weeks on one player, a few weeks on another player, and time is now running out. It's as simple as that. Time is running out, and we can't afford that. Christian Evermore says, I'm enjoying the realism in this chat. I was chatting in a WhatsApp group with Kool-Aid Swiggers. I felt like I was talking to fucking Care Bears. Oh, dear me. Look, I think the realization, certainly from this morning's show, is that, you know, we just don't have the staff there to do these deals and who can get them done. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe they are doing a fantastic job behind the scenes and doing the very, very best. Of course, they'll be doing the best, but doing your best and being absolutely qualified to do that job is two very, very different things, isn't it? Very different. And like we said before, these are peak level negotiations that I don't think we've really had the pleasure of being involved in for a very, very long time. These are elite players and peak mountains that we have to climb to get these players. And I don't think we've got the climbers to do it. And certainly that's what it's looking like at the minute. But hey-ho, that is just the way we have to do it, guys. I'm sure there'll be more news later on today. So keep your eyes open for a video. Certainly we're back tonight with a live show at 7. Me, Billy and Alex tonight. So Alex certainly set the cat among the pigeons last night with his comments on Manchester United, which put us all across the social media platform with some good banter, but also some absolute ruthless trolls on there as per usual. But hey ho, whatever. But we will see what happens. Keep your eyes peeled for shows and videos. We'll keep you posted as to what's going on across the board today. But thank you for watching the first ever breakfast show on the Toon Review. This will continue, of course, over 2,000 in, which is brilliant across YouTube and Twitter. So thank you very, very much, guys. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. Thank you, mods. But a massive thank you to you guys. This is what we need if you want to keep these in. It's views that are important, and we need to know that you're enjoying the shows and you keep coming back for more. I'm pleased I brought this breakfast show on because it's great to have a chat with you on the morning about the early morning news and where we are. Sensible conversation. But I think it's more, like I said last night, it's more like counselling sessions now, isn't it? And that's the brutal honesty of it all. We come here for counselling sessions now, but it is what it is. But anyway, we will catch you again at 7 p.m. for another live. But keep your eye open throughout the day for any breaking news. And we will see you very soon. Enjoy your day, folks. Take care.
Come back and check out some green.